Friends, today we are learning something new, that is components of income tax law. We have seen in previous video meaning of tax, the types of tax, reason and power to levy taxes. So today we are you will see the components of income tax law like Income Tax Act, Finance Act, income tax rules, circulars, notification, legal decision, of course. So we'll see what is the relevance of these things in a taxation and meaning of these things. So let's start. So friends, as I told you earlier, the components of income tax law, as I put it in the screen, these are Income Tax Act, Finance Act, income tax rules, circular, notification and legal decision, of course. So we'll go through one by one. The first one, Income Tax Act. So remember this Income Tax Act and its year, it is 1961. So it is very important in all through of your life. So what does it mean of Income Tax Act 1961? It is the levy of income tax governed by Income Tax Act. So here it is levy of income tax, which is governed by the Income Tax Act 1961. So this law extends to whole India, even Jammu and Kashmir. So it is extends to whole of India, and it came into force. It came into force on 1/4/1962. So how does, okay, what and all it includes? It includes 298 sections and schedules, that is 1 to 14 schedules. So we'll see what do you mean by the sections and subsection, all those, because when you are reading this Income Tax Act or any other act, you have to learn, or you should know what is the mean by section, schedule, subsection, the proviso, all those things. Okay, so let's see what is the meaning of section. So what and all contains in section? So section contains subsections and clauses, subclauses. So what we'll go through first, what is clauses. So it will be easier to understand what is section and subsection. The meaning of clause: so what do you mean by clauses? So clauses means each part of the section is independent of each other and not related with other, called as a clauses. So for example, in section 2, so section 2 which gives the definition or meaning of the terms used in Income Tax Act. So the clauses of 1A, which says that agricultural, it defines the meaning of agricultural income, and clause 1B which defines the meaning of amalgamation, etc. So here if you observe that these two clauses are both independent to each other. So what do you mean by clauses? So clauses meant it is each part of the section is independent of each other and not related with other. So as I told you, the example for this clause is, I've given you the example of section 2. So section 2 speaks about or which defines the meaning. So if in any law, be it in Income Tax Act or GST or Customs or Companies Act, so section 2 defines the terminologies used in the particular or respective act. So section 2 gives the definitions or meanings. So if you want to know any meanings of the terms used in the any act, you should check in the section 2. So when you are talking about section 2, there are number of clauses. Okay, so section 2 of Income Tax Act 1961, where clause 1A, this is written like this. So clause 1A defines the meaning of agricultural income. So what do you mean by agricultural income? If you want to know the meaning, you should check section 2 clauses 1A. If you want to know the meaning of amalgamation, then check clause 1B, that is amalgamation. So if you see here, both the clauses are independent to each other, or these are not related to each other. See, amalgamation doesn't speak about anything about agricultural income, and agricultural income doesn't speak anything about the amalgamation. So both are independent to each other. So this is the meaning of clauses. The next components in the Income Tax Act, that is subsection. So subsections means where each part of the section related to each other. So each part of the section related to each other. And all subsection taken together complete the concept of propounded in that section. So if you want to know what is the meaning or what is the actual total concept or what exactly it speaks about, okay, so you have to read the entire section. So all the subsection put together, which will complete the concept of the what is propounded in the section. So one more point for subsection is where all the subsections put together, or all the subsection taken together to complete the concept of propounded, or whatever the concept it wants to convey, or whatever the meaning it wants to convey. If you read everything together, you will get to understand, you will come to know. So it will be mentioned in that section. So to read or to understand anything, you need to read the entire section, putting all the subsection together. So for example, for your understanding, this example is, see section 5. See, these sections don't take much into heart, so these sections will come to know one by one when you are doing the particular chapter. Okay, for your understanding as of now, take section 5. So section 5, which defines the scope of total income. Okay, what does it says? It has two subsections. Okay, so in subsection 1, so when you are writing the subsection, write it like this. So subsection 1 defines the scope of total income of total income of resident of India. Okay, so now I am not doing that what is resident because it is entirely different chapter. So as of now, for your understanding what is subsection, so in subsection 1 of section 5, which defines the scope of total income of the resident, and the subsection 2, as I told you earlier, it has two sections. The subsection 2 speaks about or defines the scope of total income of non-resident of India. So when you read the entire section, okay, you will get the complete idea about the scope of total income. If you read if you just read the total income of resident of India, so you will not get idea what will be in the scope of income for the non-resident. So to understand entire concept, you need to read both the subsection together. So when we are reading the sections, okay, when you are reading the subsections or when you are reading the clauses, so we'll come across the two important thing, that is provisos and explanation. So you'll get a doubt, what is this provisos or explanation? What do you mean by what is the relevance of these things in the act or in the law? So we'll see what is the meaning of provisos and explanation and what is the relevance of these two. See, provisos. So first we'll see about the provisos. See, provisos to section, the provisos can be given to section, subsection, clauses, which spells out the exceptions or conditions. Okay, so these spells out the exceptions and conditions. Like proviso will spell out where the provision contained in section or subsection or clause will not apply or will apply with the certain condition. So it says that so and so section will applicable to, or it will not applicable to so when certain people, or it will give some certain conditions. Okay, for example, we'll see. Here we have section 80 GGB or GGC. So you might be thinking what these are, what kind of section is this? See, section 80 GGB or GGC provides deduction to person for contribution made to political parties while computing taxable income. So these are the deductions to persons. If any person for a contribution or a gift or donation, okay, so the person for contribution made to political party. So when this deduction will be available when computing your income tax liability or while computing the taxable income. So while computing taxable income. So why did I take this here? See, when you are reading this section, you will have the provisos. Okay, so we'll come to know what is proviso. The proviso for section 80 GGB and 80 GGC, which provides that deduction will not available if contribution made in cash. So if any person makes a contribution to any political parties, okay, so what will happen? Either he will get a taxable income, but if the person makes, or if a person give contribution in cash, okay, then if anything is paid in cash or if the contribution made in cash to any political party, the deduction whatever is provided in section 80 GGB or GGC will not be available. So this is the proviso. So proviso, so every time the proviso will be started like provided that deduction will not be, I've written in a simple form, not like exactly legal language. So provided that deduction will not be available if contribution made in cash. So what you will understand by this? So when section 80 GGB or GG says that you will get a deduction while computed taxable if you have made any contribution to political parties. But the proviso says that so deduction anyway you will get it, but if you made in cash, if a contribution made in cash, then you have to forget your deduction. So you will not get a deduction. So if you see here, the provisos will spell out the circumstances in which you will not get a deduction while computing the taxable income. Got it? So we'll understood the provisos. So then what is the meaning of explanation? So explanation gives clarification relating the provision contained in respective section or subsection. So it provides the clarification. It provides or gives the clarification relating the provisions contained in section or subsection or clauses contained in section, subsection or clauses. Okay, so what example for this? So we'll take the same example of 80 GGB. So what is 80 GGB or GGC? It is a deduction to a person for contribution made to a political parties while computing taxable income. So what do you mean by here section where it will be there? So below the section 80 GGC, after the section 80 GGC, the explanation is provided for clarifying the meaning of political party. See, these some meanings which is not given or which is not defined in section 2. So some of the meaning, or if they want to for a particular that section only, it will be given in the explanation. So in this explanation, they have provided or clarified the meaning of political parties. So here the meaning of political parties only for the purpose of this section is the political party which is registered. Political parties which is registered under section 29A of representation of the people Act 1951. So when you are reading 80 GGB or 80 GGC, you think that okay, it is all political party. But when you read the explanation or which clarifies the meaning of political party, then you will choose only those political parties, okay, which is registered under section of 29A of Representation of People Act 1951. So it explains which clarifies the meaning of political parties. So it has to be, if you want to get deduction of if you have paid any other mode other than cash, then it has to be registered political parties. So these are the components involved in Income Tax Act. Okay, so Income Tax Act undergoes change every year or every through the Finance Act. Every year it pass the Finance Minister pass the keep the budget in the Parliament, then it will be passed in both the House of Parliament, then it will become a Finance Act. So we all know that how the budget will be there in February or March. Usually in February the budget will be put for the next financial year. So if they want to bring any amendments in the Act, they do it through the legislation like Taxation Laws Amendment Act. This is for your information. Okay, that's all friends. For today's what we have learned is the first components of Income Tax Act, that is Income Tax Act 1961. So next class we'll check, or next video we'll see the other components such as Finance Act, Income Tax Rules, Circular, Notification and Legal Decision. I hope you all enjoy this video. I hope you understood the concept or the meaning or the Finance Act 1961, the overview. So thank you so much. If you have understood or if you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe our channel for continue our taxation journey. Thank you so much.